Hello, hi everyone. Myself is CMA Vikita. I'm here to tell you about the exam strategy. I mean, the before day exam, you have 1.5 day for the preparation. How do you strategize that day for our other laws portion? That is of 40 marks, which we have in paper number 2, part B. So in our paper number 2, it is a corporate law and other laws, the whole 100 marks portion, but I am going to tell you that how and what chapters you should read first, and when, where, how do you strategize your total 1.5 day into how, when other laws can be studied, at which time it should be studied. We are going to read or understand in this video, right? So exam strategy for CA inter other laws, paper number 2B. Okay, we go ahead. So for you people, I have done a small note down about how we can strategize and in which order we should read our chapters. As you people know that we have chapters, that is Indian Contract Act, General Clauses Act, Interpretation of Statutes, and Negotiable Instrument Act. In these total chapters, first I would request everyone to complete the Indian Contract Act 1872. Why? Because under Indian Contract Act, there is a very nice way of understanding, because it is totally related to the real life examples, and it is very interesting for you to capture a lot of interest on our subject, right? So in this we have indemnity and guarantee contract. In this we have bailment and pledge, we have agency. So in that, what I want you people to note down some small topics which you can read before exam. You should mention, should particularly understand and read. So first thing I would like to say is, what is indemnity and what are the different rights of the indemnity holder is some necessity for you to understand before exam, right? Can now going to the contract of guarantee, we have something called, important necessity is what is the term of guarantee, what are the different ways guarantees can be done. There is a topic subtopic called nature of sureties liability, which is necessary for you to read. Discharge of surety is important. How do you revoke the guarantee contract is necessary. And at the time of conduct of creditor, how do you discharge the liability of the surety is necessary. And then in the last I would like to say you is discharge of surety by invalidation of the contract of guarantee. There are some points which I said you, please make sure that you read the information, the questions accordingly, and do the case studies before exam. Okay, then coming now to the bailment and pledge chapter. In bailment, there is necessity is you need to understand what are the types of bailment. There is gratuitous and non-gratuitous bailment, which is necessary. What are the duties of the bailer? What are the what is the way of termination of the bailment, which is necessary. Very necessary and very important, and I feel it is a sure question, is the two types of liens, that is general lien and the particular lien. And the last I feel is it can come about the finder of lost goods. Some things related to it you should understand. Okay, now coming to pledge, what is pledge is required, and what are the rights of the pawnee, rights of the pawner, and a pledge by the non-owners. I feel this is a necessity for this exam. Okay, now coming to the last part of the Indian Contract Act, that is saying about the agency. In agency, it is required that you understand the, like, authority and delegation by the agent and the sub agent. And you have to understand what is substitute agent, what is a way of valid ratification. Okay, how much is the authority, and what is the scope of the agent's authority, which is necessary for you to understand. How do you terminate the agency contract, which is required. Okay, I feel that this can be a better question which can come for your exam. That is a right of the agent, or the duties and the obligations of the agent. Then in the last it is required for you to understand that agents, what is the agent's liability to the third party. Okay, so we have done with the Indian Contract Act. I basically made you understand that these are some important sub notes or sub points in those chapters you should read, boys and girls. Fine. Now coming to the General Clauses Act. In the General Clauses Act, it's basically saying about the general interpretation of the how do you define, how you have to read the definition, if there is different terms used in different acts, which definition should be used, and so. Okay, in this, what is necessary is the, what is the objective of the General Clauses Act is required. You should understand the section 3, that is the definitions portion. Then coming to the, there is a small portion which is saying about shall and may. Okay, shall and may portion, like when shall is used, when may is used, that is required. The important, not much important, but it's required for you to understand is what are the different offenses, if there are 2 or more enactments which are applicable. And then you have to also read is the general rules of construction. This is pure necessary, not that much, others are not much important, but yes, before exam these are more necessary. Okay, now coming to the interpretation of statutes, what we have to understand is what is interpretation. What do you understand by the interpretation of the statutes? How do you go ahead is you need to understand the classification of interpretation. What are the different rules of interpretation? What are the primary rules? What are the secondary rules? And there are in this rules also, I feel the harmonious construction rule is necessary, exceptional construction rule is necessary and required for you to understand. And the last but not the least is adjustum generis. This is a pure question, 2 marks question they ask. They can ask a MCQ, they can ask a true or false, they can also give you a small example and then give you how do you relate with this case study, and so. Okay, what are the different aids of interpretation is a necessary question for you to understand. Aids, in aids also, internal aid, external aid can be done if you have time, right? Now coming down is we are going to the negotiable instrument. In negotiable instrument act, as it is a bigger chapter, I want you people to do it in the last, but give a little bit of extra time. Okay, so in this, the three like check, promissory note and bill of exchange, what are the features, what are the characteristics, you should understand. What are the different parties involved in it is also required for you to understand and properly make a note on it in your brain and go to the exam, because they can confuse you anytime. The CA Institute is very good in confusion, and they want the students to think in very good way, so they give you in a different way of question and people don't answer those questions. So very important is material alteration. What are the effects of material alteration? How do you dishonor the negotiable instrument? When can be the notice be sent? Okay, and then there's small things which are required. You can just read a bit of offenses and what are the power to direct interim compensation. Okay, so these are only the necessities of for you before exam strategies. I mean 1.5 day strategy. In that 40 marks I said you this is required. Okay, in this also you can just short down small things and do your revision. So what I want you people to do is how do you prepare? The preparation is very necessary. How do you prepare is before when you come back from exam, after you have a relaxation for 1-2 hours in the evening, the late evening, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, you can start with the Indian Contract Act. And I'm sure it will just take 2 hours, maximum 2 hours to 3 hours to complete the whole revision. Everything can be done in a better way. I'm saying you in a better way, okay? And then you, after some time after dinner, if you want to, then you can also start with the next chapter. As I said you, this is General Clauses Act. It's a bit boring chapter, so if you want, you can start with this, or else you can start in the early morning, so that it will be a better way of grasping in the mind, right? Interpretation of statutes and general clauses can be completed maximum of 2 hours. Negotiable Instrument Act requires a bit of understanding. It requires a bit of you being with the subject. It's not like, you know, you open up the book and then you read it, will not get into it. So you need to have a proper timing for it. Maximum 2.5 hours, 2 hours to 2.5 hours to cover all the questions and MCQs, and so it's required. Okay, so I said you the preparation is very necessary for so I want you people to strategize the preparation in these 3 ways, that is 3 hours. You can just recall, you revise and rewind. Very necessary is these 3 points should be done. If you are done with these 3 points, 100% surety is you can clear the exams. Okay, so study well, boys and girls. I think it is very right time to get ready for your exams, and study well. Do not worry, you can do the best. Good luck. I am very sure that you can do the best. Okay, so be positive and go to the exam with a positive and a happy mind. Tata, take care, and all the best.